Welcome back, grade 12 and grade 11. This is not only for grade 12, grade 10, grade 12 and grade 11. You are welcome to do this because we are still going to apply the quadratic patterns. The quadratic patterns needs you to practice more often, but I'm going to do a few problems and few examples so that you can go and remind yourself. But for grade 11, this is on the right course. This is yours. You're going to meet this not this term, not next week, but somehow this year. Grade 11, you're going to take. Please take care of this. Take note of this. Right, this is the problem that we are given. You are given the sequence 6, 17, 24, and 57. Question that follows is A. Show that this is a quadratic number pattern. You know what to do when you are given. You have to prove that it's a quadratic number pattern. What is it? The second difference must be constant or common. Right, number 2, which is B. Write the next two terms of the number pattern. 3, hence determine the nth term as well as the 100th term. D, determine which term equals to 162. Mind you, this is an exam type questions. Everything that we do, I make sure that you are on a par or on a level of the standard of the examination. Your exam is not different from this one. So if you can grab this, then you're going to crack your examination. Right, before you can do anything, you come and grab the very same pattern that you were given. You were given 6, 17, 34, and 57. The first thing that you do, you find the difference between these terms. 17 minus 6 is 11. 34 minus 17 is 24, 34, 17. Am I right? 17 plus 17 is 34, which is 17. 57 minus 34. Let me grab my calculator. I'm not good at numbers. 57 minus 34 is 23. What do we do here? This you equate it to 3a plus b. This you equate it to a plus b plus c. Then the last one, you have to equate it to 2a. Now, let's find the difference between this. 17 minus 11, it's 6. Am I right? 23 minus 17 must be 6. Because we are looking for a common difference. Minus 17, it's 6 as well. So, we have answered the first question. You have to say 2a is equated to 6. Now, this is basically the same thing that you have to do when you are solving the problems for the quadratic pattern. I'm talking to you grade 11. Mostly, you must grab this. Grade 12, they know this is just their revision. Grade 10, I'm just revising you because the ATP says you must revise this. So we are revising this. This is your grade 11 work. We haven't done grade 12 yet. Now, from here you come and say A is covered. Why? Because we are going to say A. Therefore, it is a quadratic pattern. Give reasons for that? Because it has a common difference on the second difference. The second difference is common. Right, we're coming for number B. Number B says, write the next two terms of the number 13. The next two terms of the number 13 you cannot find unless you find A, B, and C. You start at A. Always you start here. 2A is equals to 6. Then your A is what? A is equals to 3. You are done with A. You come to B. You grab this one, this statement here is 3A plus B is equated to 11. I substitute my A here as 3 to find B. 3 by 3 is 9. So it's 9 plus B equals to 11. Then find B. B is 11 minus 9. When you take your 9 from the left hand side, it was positive. When it goes to the right hand side, it's going to be negative. 11 minus 2 is B is 2. You are done with B. You find the last one. A plus B plus C is equals to, let's come and check here. A plus B plus C must be 6. You put your 6 here, then you start working. Then your A is 3, your B is 2, then you can find your C. A 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus C is equals to 6. Therefore, C is equals to 6 minus 5, which is 1. Now you can go ahead and find there. Then find the next two terms of the number 13. Before you can do that, let's do the general term. The general term goes like so. Tn equals to an squared plus bn plus c. You plug your A, you find A as 3n squared. Your B was 2n plus your C is 1. This is your general formula, or the nth term. This is, write down the next two terms of the 13. Hence, we see this is going to be the answer for C. This is going to be the answer for C. So you cannot get B without finding C. Right. Your B says, write the next two terms of the 13. The next two terms is what? Term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4. They want you to find term 6 and term 7. They want you to find term 6 and term 7. This is what they want us to do, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it's 5 and 6, not 6 and 7. 5 and 6. So we need to find term 5 and 6. Now, for you to find term 5 and 6, you get to grab this general formula, which they have asked you in 6, but you already have answered. You cannot answer B without having that. Yes, you can answer B before that, but I don't want to go to do things without the formula and the equations. So is pure maths. Pure maths says in order for your maths to run smoothly, you must stick to the rules. So the formula and the equations are our rules. Now, you grab your formula. The formula says Tn is equals to 3n squared plus 2n plus 1. Now we want term 5. Instead of n, we put 5. When you see n, we put 5. And when you see n, we put 5. What is 5 squared? Let me grab the calculator. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 3 is 75. That one is simple. Plus 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1, 11. So 75 plus 11 is going to be 86. Yes. 86. Term number 5 will be 86. Then term number 6 will be, you put, when you see n, you put 6. When you see n, you put 6. You add 1. What is 6 squared? 6 squared is 36. 36 times 3, it's 108. Plus 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1, 13. Then 108 plus 13 is 121. Now we have answered B. We have answered B. Now we go to C. They say hence determine the nth term as well as the 100th term. This is nth term. Now let's go for 100th term. 100th term is going to be T100 is equals to 3 times 100 squared plus 2 times 100 plus 1. 100 squared is the same as 1,000. 10,000. 10,000 times 3 is 30,000. 100 times 2 is 200 plus 1, 201. 201 plus this 30,000 plus 201. We have 30,201. We're done with number C. Let's come for number D. Determine which term equals to 162. So we come and say which term is going to be equals to 162. 162 must be equals to 3 times n squared plus 2n plus 1. Which term must be equal to that? Now, you take that side. It's 3n squared plus 2n plus 1 minus 162. So it's going to be 3n squared plus 2n minus 161 is equals to 0. Now we find the factors of 161 that will give you a this is going to be 161. 7 times 23 is going to give you 161. So you put your 3n and equals to 0. Now we say the factors of 161, that is going to give us a middle term, which is 2. But out of those factors, there must be different. The signs must be different. The bigger one must have a positive. Which one is going to be big? If you put a 7 here, a 7 times 3 is 21. If you put a 23 here, 23 times 1 is 23. So 23 is bigger than 21, which is from 7. You see that? Now you come in to say 3n plus 23 is equals to 0, or n minus 7 is equal to 0. Then n 3n is equal to minus 23, and then n is equal to minus 23 over 3, which does not apply. You cannot have a negative 10 number. All the numbers must be positive. Or n is equal to 7. So this one is correct. So at n is equal to 7, we are going to have 162. That term is going to be 162 at term number 7 from the given sequence. This is all what we need to do grade 12 and grade 11, but mostly I emphasize grade 11 because we are still going to do this. Grade 12, they know this. Grade 12, I urge you to go and practice more of this, because this is not the last of it that you are going to see it. It's coming with a complicated way. Let's bring the complicated one and then we jump to your standard of mathematics that you are called for today, which is the number pattern for sequence and series. I'll see you in the next video. Please do practice. The secret of maths is practice some more. Thank you very much. Uncle Pythagoras signing out.